Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle one of the biggest, most debated questions in personal finance today. Is student loan debt actually good debt? I bet you've heard this before. A parent, a guidance counselor, in this case, it was a high school teacher. It's pitched as this basic truth, right? You borrow money now so you can earn way more later. It's an investment. Simple. But what if that simple idea is actually kind of dangerous? What if, for millions of people, this so-called good debt becomes a total nightmare that throws their entire financial life off track? That's exactly what we're going to break down. So, first things first, let's really understand the promise. Why do so many people buy into the idea that student loans are a good thing? Well, it's a super common belief. I mean, look at this. A survey found that 64% of people agree that investing in an education is a good move, even if you have to take out loans. This idea is really baked into our culture. And here's the absolute core of it. The whole good debt argument hangs on one thing: a positive return on investment. You're taking a calculated risk, right? You borrowed this money expecting that your shiny new degree will get you a career with a salary that's big enough to pay it all back, no problem, and still have plenty left over. But that's exactly where the whole promise can just fall apart. Let's take a look at what happens when the math, well, just doesn't add up. Before we go any further, let's be crystal clear on what we're talking about with return on investment, or ROI. This is the heart of the whole debate. It boils down to a really simple question. Is the pay bump you get from your degree going to be bigger than the mountain of debt you took on to get it? And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's not really about the degree itself. It's all about the ratio. Taking on 100 grand in debt for a job that pays 40 grand a year, that's a financial trap. That debt is bad from day one. Now, on the other hand, borrowing 40 grand for a job that pays 100,000, now we're talking. That's a positive ROI. That's what good debt is supposed to look like. And, this isn't just some made-up example. This is a quote from a real person, Jen Hayes. It shows you what happens in the real world. She did what everyone tells you to do. She got the degree, but she ended up on the wrong side of that ROI equation. She was living the bad debt reality. But wait, it gets even more complicated. It's not just about whether you feel like you can make the payments. When you go to get other big loans, like for a house, lenders are looking at a very specific number, your debt-to-income ratio, or DTI. And here it is. This is the magic number. Lenders who give out mortgages, they want to see that all your monthly debt payments, we're talking student loans, car payments, credit cards, the whole shebang, add up to no more than 36% of your monthly income before taxes. A high student loan payment can easily shove you right over that limit, and just like that, you're locked out of things like buying a home. So this brings us to the real, everyday consequences. When that math fails and your DTI is way too high, it feels like your whole life gets put on hold. So first up, buying a home. Like we just said, a high DTI from student loans can be a deal breaker on a mortgage application. But even if you could get approved, think about it. How are you supposed to scrape together thousands of dollars for a down payment when a giant piece of your paycheck is already gone before you even see it? And then there's retirement. Oh man, every single dollar that goes to that student loan payment is a dollar that isn't going into your 401k to grow for your future. The research is pretty clear. People with student debt are way less likely to be saving for retirement. And when you delay saving, you lose out on years, even decades of compound growth, which is basically the magic ingredient for building wealth. And it can mess with your career too. Maybe you're passionate about a field that doesn't pay a six-figure salary right away. But if you have these crushing monthly loan payments, you might be forced to take a job you don't even like, just for the paycheck. And that can lead to years of feeling stuck and unhappy. Okay, this is where things get really, really serious. We've talked about the financial drag, the life on hold stuff, but now let's look at the financial cliff, the moment student debt goes from bad to truly toxic. We're talking about the default tipping point. You need to understand this timeline. The day after you miss a payment, boom, your loan is officially delinquent. Once you're 90 days late, it gets reported to the credit bureaus and your credit score takes a serious nosedive. But for federal loans, the catastrophe happens at 270 days. That's when you cross the line into full-blown default. And the consequences of default are brutal. Your entire loan balance can become due, like, right now. The government can start taking money directly from your paycheck. It's called wage garnishment, and they don't even need to ask a judge. They can take your tax refunds, they can take Social Security benefits, and you're cut off from getting any more federal aid, which makes going back to school to finish a degree pretty much impossible. So who is most likely to end up in this situation? The data is heartbreakingly clear. It's the borrowers who took on the debt but never actually finished their degree. They have all of the financial burden, but none of the increased earning power the degree was supposed to give them. It's the absolute worst of both worlds. Okay, after hearing all that, it's easy to think all student debt is just terrible, but it doesn't have to be that way. Let's switch gears and talk about how to use this tool wisely and keep it on the good debt side of things. Look, the point of all this isn't to scare you away from college or getting a degree, not at all. It's to get you to treat student loan debt for what it really is, a powerful financial tool that can be amazing if you use it right, but can cause a whole lot of damage if you're not careful. So, here are 3 things you absolutely have to do. First, calculate your risk before you ever sign the loan papers. Look up the average starting salary for the job you want and figure out what your DTI ratio will look like. Can you actually afford it? Second, you have to know your options for paying it back. For federal loans, there are plans designed to help you out. The new SAVE plan is a game changer for a lot of people. It ties your payment to your income and can lower it by a ton, sometimes even down to $0 a month. And third, be proactive. If you start to struggle, call your loan servicer right away. Don't bury your head in the sand. They have options to help, but those options disappear if you wait until you're already deep in trouble. And that leaves us with one final pretty big question to chew on. In the world we live in today, is college still a guaranteed investment that pays off down the road? Or has it become more like a very, very expensive product that we're encouraged to buy without really understanding the true cost and the actual value? It's definitely something we all need to think about more carefully.